WasgehtaUIM and welcome to the next video. It's episode 10.5 Theory Crafting. But first, to a comment under the last video, there was a suggestion by John to have some kind of overview, some kind of sheet. We had that before, like with the 4 diary tiers, but yeah, I answered it looked kind of lame, the last one we had, and that the last episodes were pretty straightforward with only one region and the medium diary to complete. But now we're back, so let's take some time and make a little recap on the series. We started in Lumbridge, and then we had to complete the easy diary to move on to Varrock. And then in Varrock we completed the easy diary as well and moved on to Falador, where we did the same thing, still easy diary. Yeah, and Lumbridge and Varrock and Falador were unlocked forever. It's not like moving from one to one place, it's unlocking them forever, expanding, like in the intro, and finally unlocking all the content there is in this game. The episodes after that, we did the medium diaries of Kandarin Desert and Karamja. Kandarin really took long, but then we had one episode of the desert and one episode of Karamja. Now we're done with the easy tier and the medium tier, which means now we have to tackle some hard diaries, which is really a different kind of content. The stats are way higher, the quests are way harder, it all takes way longer. So we have to theory craft a bit, and this is what this episode is for. We can pick between Morytania, Framnic and Ardougne. Let's first take a look at the skill requirements of the diaries. On the left you can see the skill, you can see the levels, the level I'm at and the level that's required. Green means we have a meta way of training it, for example like agility or mining, it's just the same, power mining or running in circles as on a main. Yellow means it's an okay way to train, not meta, but it will take some time, but not too long. Red meaning this will take a lot of time, and purple just meaning it will take an extraordinary amount of time. It's just harder than hard. The comparison means that, for example, for farming, it is a difficult thing to do to get all the resources to get to 53. But the green light means that there is, on the other diaries, there is a farming requirement as well, but this one is the lowest out of all of them. Yeah, yellow meaning there is another one, but this one is like in the middle. Red meaning there's 2 other diaries that need this skill, and this one is the highest requirement. So from time to time it might be worth it to look at it. In this case, maybe for magic. Magic is red in difficulty because magic is just hard to train. But it's the lowest of all the requirements, of all the diaries that require magic levels. So sometimes it might be practical to look at that. Purple in that case meaning this skill is unique, so like defense, I would only have to train defense for this diary and don't have to train it if I go for one of the other 2 regions. So like I said, farming, pretty difficult to train on a UIM overall, but the requirement isn't too high. There are higher requirements, not something I'm too worried about, but yeah, farming, always hard. Agility, easy to do, we have a meta way of training it. Running in circles, it's just the same as a main. But it's a unique grind, but it's not too long, so I don't really mind it. Defense, yeah, it's a melee stat, it's okay. We have a slayer requirement, so yeah, we'll just train melee. But it's a unique grind. Yeah, I don't really feel like boosting only defense up, that's the thing. But yeah, it'll be a bit annoying maybe. Mining is easy. It's not the lowest requirement out of all those, but 46 to 55, I don't really have a problem with that. For smithing, we would do motherlode mine struts, which is actually the UIM meta, even though it sounds dreadful. It's the lowest requirement of all the smithing requirements in the 3 areas. But yeah, it's still a yellow difficulty for me because it's not too much and it's actually the UIM meta. So yeah, I gave it a yellow. Mage is always hard to train. That's simple, it's a red one, but in comparison to the other ones, it's one of the lowest requirements. Construction, also hard to train, but lowest requirement. In comparison, it's only 46 to 50, and I think, yeah, that's manageable. Slayer will take some time, but we have to train defense anyway. 58, It's a bit steep, but yeah, I think it's manageable. Now to the big question mark, 45 to 70 prayer. That's exceptionally hard to do. It's a very high level and it's prayer and it's a unique grind. So that's the big question mark here. But I think we can find a way. Maybe Active Fungus, maybe Below Ice Mountain. Maybe there's some content there. Maybe some quests even. I don't know. Maybe we'll find a way. That's Morytania for you. Now, these are the skill requirements of the Framnic area. There's a Slayer requirement, which is always not easy to do, but manageable. And it's the lowest one, it's only 47. After that comes crafting. I still don't really have a good method of crafting, so 51 to 61. It doesn't look bad, but if you think about it, it will be very difficult. And it's a unique grind, so I could totally avoid crafting more if I picked another region. Same for Herblore. That one looks horrible. We've done a lot of horrible Herblore methods in this account so far, so this one is almost a big no-no. Yeah, the Hunter training is not too hard. Yeah, I'm not really scared of 8 levels of Hunter. We can do that. For Magic, it's a different thing. It's pretty high, 72. So I think that's very, very difficult to do. Mining is unfortunately the highest requirement, but still it's mining, and mining is pretty easy to do. Yeah, the smithing requirement in Morytania was 50, now this is 60, so I gave it a red in difficulty because it just takes much longer, and it's just hopping. It's not really a nice method to do. With the thieving, I don't have a problem at all. I mean, spam clicking is not my favorite thing to do in this game, but I think that's manageable. That's Framnic for you. Now this is Ardougne. We have the same low-level construction requirement, but then a very, very high farming requirement. This will just, the difficulty is purple because it would just take a huge amount of time, and obtaining all the resources like the seeds and all of that. Yeah, not really looking forward to that. Hunter requirement is a bit higher, but still nothing that really bothers me. Magic is the same actually as Morytania. It's 8 levels. It's not easy, but it's just as hard as Morytania. Mining is very easy. Ranged is a unique grind to 60. I think that's okay. That's not too bad. Yeah, but we could avoid the grind if we didn't go to Ardougne. Yeah, then here comes the best skill in the world, the rune crafting. Yeah, we would do a Rainier Altar, or maybe something Below Ice Mountain if that's viable. I don't know yet. But yeah, it's a very high level, 65. That would take a long time. That would be dreadful. Same for smithing. We had 50, 60, now 68, which is more than double of 60. Yeah, just difficult in comparison to the other regions, just very dreadful to do. Thieving grind I don't mind at all. It's 72 instead of 75. Not really big deal. So that's Ardougne for you. From the skill requirements overall, I'd say Morytania, except for the prayer thing. Morytania is really the most enjoyable area to go to, skills wise. Let's look at the unlocks. In Ardougne we can get the cloak, which is a cool teleport. Also we can get Rainier Altar. But that's not that meaningful, because if we go to Framnic or Morytania, we wouldn't need the Rainier Altar unless we go to Ardougne, and then we have to runecraft for the requirement. So yeah, it's not really a big thing. We would have to do Morning's End Part 2. That's kind of steep, like the whole Elven series until ME2. We would have to do Legends quests and a part of Monkey Madness. In Framnic we would unlock the Lunar Spellbook. Yeah, we have to do Lunar Diplomacy and Framnic Isles. These are the hardest quests. Not too hard, I think that's manageable. In Morytania we would unlock the best crafting method with Port Phasmatis because of the furnace there. That would be very nice for crafting. If we after that would move on to Framnic, we could craft in Morytania, which wouldn't be possible if we started in Framnic. Then we have the Active Fungus, maybe if that's a good prayer method. Yeah, we would unlock Barrows, which I think isn't all too important to us at that stage of the account. So yeah, it's not as important. But maybe temple tracking is, and smithing supplies, maybe XP tomes. Temple tracking might be a good unlock. But we would have to complete the Haunted Mine and Desert Treasure, which are both not easy, I think. It's pretty hard fights. We would have to train a lot for those. But would be a nice challenge. Yeah, the way I talk, you can see I'm leaning towards Morytania because of it would ease up the crafting grind in the Framnic part. Yeah, and Morytania has so much to offer. I'm leaning towards Morytania. If you have something in mind that I totally forgot because I'm just one person with one brain, please put it in the comments below. That's what this theory crafting episode is for. If you have fun doing that, please do that. Please help me. And then I will start recording clips for the new episode very soon. So yeah, I would still appreciate a like, even though it's not a gameplay video. Would still appreciate a subscribe if you think the concept is cool and you're looking forward to the unlocking of Morytania, or maybe Framnic, or maybe Ardougne. Tell a friend about the videos if you like them, and we see you in the next video.